Trump Legal Cases Daily Digest, January 30, 2024. Hello and welcome back to News Media Hant's Daily Digest. Trump's aggressive donor outreach pays off as big money backs third White House run. Donald Trump is making strategic moves to secure major financial backing for his 2024 presidential campaign, actively courting potential megadonors who have been cautious in their contributions so far this election cycle. Trump recently held a dinner with over 24 prominent Republican donors at the Palm Beach residence of billionaire investor John Paulson, signaling a concerted effort to build a strong financial foundation for his third White House bid. During a Las Vegas visit, Trump met with key Republican megadonors, including Don Ahern, Frank, and Lorenzo Fertitta, and Robert Bigelow, who was Ron DeSantis' biggest donor in the primary. Trump has successfully garnered financial commitments from these donors, showcasing his focus on the intricacies of campaign fundraising. Ed McMullen, a seasoned fundraiser based in South Carolina and former ambassador to Switzerland under Trump's administration, noted a significant surge in financial support immediately following Trump's triumph in the Iowa caucuses earlier this month. "The fundraising has been as easy as anything I've ever seen," said McMullen. "Normally, you're making the phone calls. Now you're answering the phone calls and trying to get back to people." Trump's donor outreach extends beyond traditional allies, targeting contributors who have not previously supported him. Notable examples include casino mogul Steve Wynn, Wall Street billionaire Howard Lutnick, and Jimmy John's founder Jimmy John Liotto. Trump's efforts also involve reconnecting with former supporters like Rebecca Mercer, the daughter of hedge fund billionaire Robert Mercer, signaling a strategic move to broaden his financial support base. The former president's intensified focus on fundraising reflects a calculated approach to position himself strongly for the general election, highlighting the significance of donor support in the evolving landscape of his 2024 campaign. Georgia Trump prosecutor Nathan Wade settles divorce. Avoids questions on alleged affair with DA Fani Willis. Nathan Wade, the special prosecutor in Donald Trump's Georgia election interference case, has settled his divorce with wife Joycelyn, effectively avoiding questions about his alleged romantic relationship with Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis. Wade, appointed by Willis to lead the Trump prosecution, filed for divorce on November 1, 2021, a day after his appointment. Allegations of a romantic relationship between Wade and Willis surfaced on January 8, leading to questions about the propriety of Wade's hiring and financial ties to Willis. Wade was scheduled to be questioned in court on Wednesday about these allegations, but his divorce settlement means that neither he nor Willis will face interrogation in court about their relationship. The messy divorce and alleged affair became public when Trump co-defendant Mike Roman claimed that Wade and Willis were romantically involved, leading to an attempt by the Trump team to remove Willis from the case. Despite settling the divorce, Willis still faces an upcoming hearing on February 15 regarding attempts to disqualify her from the case. The developments add a layer of complexity to Trump's Georgia legal battles, raising questions about conflicts of interest and potential impacts on the ongoing criminal prosecution related to the 2020 election interference. Ken Griffin backs Nikki Haley with $5 million amidst Trump challenge. Billionaire hedge fund manager Ken Griffin has emerged as a significant supporter of Nikki Haley's presidential campaign, contributing a total of $5 million to a super PAC backing her bid. Griffin's donations were disclosed after he publicly expressed his support for Haley at an investment conference in Miami. Despite Haley's recent losses in the Iowa and New Hampshire primaries, Griffin issued a rare statement praising her leadership qualities and foreign policy credentials. However, he indicated a shift in focus, stating, "While voters decide on who will serve as the Republican Party's nominee for president, I will continue my focus on actively supporting U.S. House and Senate candidates prioritizing economic freedom and a strong defense of America at home and abroad." Meanwhile, Nikki Haley has strategically showcased her foreign policy expertise in the aftermath of a deadly drone attack in Jordan. In a series of media interviews, she outlined a detailed response plan, emphasizing a targeted approach toward Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps leadership and Iran-backed militias in the region. This approach starkly contrasts with former President Donald Trump's vague statements on handling such incidents. Haley's proactive stance seeks to position her candidacy as one focused on preventing wars and protecting American interests, particularly in the wake of the Biden administration's perceived weaknesses. As Griffin throws his financial weight behind Haley, the 2024 Republican primary landscape continues to evolve, with foreign policy becoming a notable focal point. Retired conservative Judge Luttig urges Supreme Court to disqualify Trump. J. Michael Luttig, a retired conservative federal appellate judge, is urging the Supreme Court to bar Donald Trump from the 2024 ballot, asserting that Trump's post-2020 election conduct was a broader threat to the nation than South Carolina's secession that triggered the Civil War. In a friend of the court brief filed Monday, Luttig argued that Trump's actions amounted to an armed insurrection against the constitutional mandate of a peaceful transfer of executive power. Luttig, a prominent conservative figure, previously played a pivotal role in supporting then Vice President Mike Pence during the certification of the 2020 presidential election. The Supreme Court is set to review a Colorado Supreme Court decision that removed Trump from the state's 2024 ballot, citing the 14th Amendment's ban on insurrectionists holding office. The oral arguments are scheduled for February 8. The brief, submitted on behalf of several notable lawyers, including conservative attorney George Conway, calls for a thorough examination of the issue through a textualist lens, emphasizing the need to interpret Section 3 of the Constitution's 14th Amendment without narrow construction. The document challenges Trump's assertion that the insurrectionist ban can only be enforced by Congress after an election, contending that the courts have the authority to enforce the provision. It highlights the potential consequences of allowing an ineligible candidate to be elected, stating, "It would risk chaos as courts litigate whether a newly inaugurated president is disqualified at the same time the country needs a president to be indisputably occupying the office and making enormously consequential decisions." Bipartisan Illinois Election Board dismisses 14th Amendment challenge against Trump and Biden. The Illinois State Board of Elections, in a unanimous bipartisan decision, voted 8-0 to dismiss a challenge against former President Donald Trump's candidacy, asserting that it lacked jurisdiction to adjudicate a dispute involving the 14th Amendment. The legal advocacy group behind the challenge, Free Speech for People, expressed its intention to appeal the decision immediately, expecting the issues to be resolved in their favor by Illinois courts. Despite the dismissal, retired Judge Clark Erickson, who recommended the decision, asserted that based on evidence presented at the hearing, Trump did engage in the January 6 insurrection, suggesting that state courts should determine his eligibility. During the meeting, board member Catherine McCrory, a Republican, strongly criticized Trump for his role in the insurrection but emphasized the board's lack of authority to remove him from the ballot. In a parallel decision, the Illinois Election Board also unanimously dismissed a challenge against President Joe Biden, where GOP attempts to use the 14th Amendment to strip him from the ballot based on arguments related to the border crisis were rebuffed. Conservative activists filed the case, claiming Biden provided aid or comfort to the enemies of the United States by failing to secure the U.S.-Mexico border. The board's general counsel, Marnie Malowitz, deemed the arguments against Biden obviously devoid of legal and factual validity, and David Herman, appointed by the panel to review the matter, concluded that the case lacked merit. This marks the first time the anti-Biden gambit using the 14th Amendment has been tested before an election authority, with legal experts dismissing it as a meritless stunt. Trump lawyer Alina Habba's controversial claim against Judge Kaplan retracted. Former President Donald Trump's lawyer, Alina Habba, initially raised a conflict of interest claim against U.S. District Judge Lewis Kaplan, who presided over the E. Jean Carroll defamation trial. Habba cited a New York Post story alleging that Judge Kaplan had served as a mentor to Carroll's lawyer, Roberta Kaplan, 30 years ago at the law firm Paul, Weiss, Rifkind, Wharton, and Garrison. However, after Carroll's lawyer threatened sanctions, Habba retracted the claim. In a letter to the court, she had suggested that the alleged mentorship should have been disclosed, accusing Judge Kaplan of violating the Judicial Code of Conduct. She hinted at using the allegation in an appeal for a new trial, raising questions about the judge's rulings, tone, and demeanor during the trial. Roberta Kaplan promptly responded, dismissing the allegations as utterly baseless and part of a scheme by the Trump team to discredit the judicial system. She clarified the timeline of her association with the law firm, emphasizing that she had no recollection of a mentor-mentee relationship with Judge Kaplan. Kaplan accused Trump and Habba of pushing a false narrative of judicial bias throughout the trial, expressing her intent to seek sanctions against Habba for making vexatious claims. In a subsequent letter, Habba maintained that her purpose was to inquire about the New York Post story and highlighted that the issue seemed resolved after Roberta Kaplan's denial. The controversy sheds light on the ongoing tensions and accusations surrounding the high-profile defamation case. Thanks for watching. If you like it, comment and hit the like and share buttons. Subscribe for future videos.